Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Linh Podetti here, and I'm the founder of Outsourcing Angel. And in this video, I want to answer something that I've always reflected about, which is what are the lessons that I've learned and wish that I knew before starting my business. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 things I wish I knew about business. Now, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button so that you get notification for when my video is up. So let's get straight to the content. Number one, when I was starting my business, all I could think about was how to make the most money. And every single year I was focusing on how am I going to make the next amount of money. And if I could reverse back time, I would ask myself, how can I improve my service? Who can I serve better? Or how can I make or improve my service? Because if I was just answering those questions, then I would have the answers to actually make more money. But for many years, I was actually just so focused on, okay, how do I make it, 500,000? How do I make $1 million? And I was just thinking about the money. And when you think about the money, you kind of block yourself from thinking of solutions, because money is a byproduct of you helping people, solving people's problems, and then people will pay you for solving their problem. And so I really wish that I was just not so naive back then and just always thinking about money, money, money. And only when I achieved money did I realize that money wasn't even fulfilling. Because, when you wanted to achieve a certain weight on your scale, you get there and you're like, oh, is that all it feels? It's exactly like money. When you achieve a certain money goal, you kind of feel like, oh, is that all? But the best fulfilling moment is when you know that you've made certain people happy, when your clients are happy, when your staff are happy. So I really wish that I didn't waste time thinking about money and stressing out, but really think about how do I serve, because it helps me make money and it also helps me to feel good. Now, the next thing that I wish I knew is that every single year there is challenges. So, you kind of have a delusional expectation that once you hit a certain milestone, that life kind of just always comes easy. But what I've realized after years of in business is that every single year you're going to face challenge, because unless you go through challenges and you go through kind of hard times, that's the only time that you grow. So if I could tell myself, the old young self, Lynn, to not stress too much. When there is problems, that is opportunity. It's because when I was going through challenges, I was kind of like pulling my hair out, going, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? And, after seeing years and years of the same pattern every single year going through challenges, but after every challenge, there was this breakthrough of this growth. And I would always look back and go, oh my God, now I've learned this, or now I've learned that. And so, there's a saying that goes, there is no rainbow without the rain. And so I wish that I wouldn't stress so much of the challenges, because if I could just interpret the word challenge, it actually means opportunity. So that is the lesson number 2. Okay, lesson number 3 is about finance. So one of the limiting beliefs that I had early on was I'm not really good with numbers. So for a few years, I kind of just pushed it away. I even hired an accountant, and I just kind of like, oh, you do your thing, I didn't really care about. But nowadays, I actually really care about numbers. I care about what I'm bringing in, how I'm allocating the money. And I reckon I wasted so many years of just wasting the money. And so one of the books that I recommend reading is called Profit First. And I wish I read it much earlier on, because for once, there's a book that actually gives you the benchmark of, okay, the money you receive, how much should you allocate to profit? How much do you actually allocate to paying yourself? How much do you actually allocate to expense and tax and things? And so for many years, I was always chasing my tails. I always felt like I would always stress out when it was tax time, when it was GST time, GST is the 10% that you have to pay for services in Australia. I was always stressing out because I didn't allocate the money in advance. Profit First was something I read not long ago. So this is talking about 9 years later. And so I wish I read that earlier on, because it's all about managing your money. So if you've heard of, in personal finance, where you have to allocate, for example, 10% to paying yourself, 10% to tithing, 10% to whatever else, right? In business, it's the same thing. But I didn't know that lesson early on. And so I would say that all the money came in, it was sitting in one bucket, and I didn't know how to save the amount that I needed to pay for tax. I didn't know the amount I needed to pay expenses. And so I was always stressing out, and I was just paying myself whatever and reinvesting into the business, whatever. But not long ago, so it's really recent time that I read the book Profit First, because I realized after many years of making money, I wasn't really keeping money. I was always reinvesting in the money. And so this book really allowed me to kind of allocate the amount of money, and I would always see the profit in advance. The tax that I need is always there, and so that I'm not stressing out over money. And so that is lesson number 3, caring about your number, caring about your profit, and Profit First is a book you should read. All right, so number 4 is similar to number 3, meaning it's about finance. But what it was is very early on in the first year of business, after a year of making some money, the bank asked me, do you want to borrow some money? And so I was like, okay, I'll take that money and I'll just, I don't know, spend on the business. And I really regret it because with such an immature mind, a very lack of experience in business, with the money that I got, I started just splurging on, I don't know, I need to go on holidays and maybe I'll network on my holidays. I would just spend on things that I didn't need. And so I think when you give money to people that are inexperienced too early on, you'll just end up wasting a lot of money. And so I really believe now that I wish that I never got all that amount of money. I would actually just learn to work with the money I got, or just learn to generate money and use that money to generate more money. Because imagine if you just didn't have the skills and experience to make money, and if someone just gave you $1 million, you would just splurge it and spend it on things, and you'll end up being in $1 million debt. So I got myself in a $40,000 debt in my first or second year in business. And the thing that I regret is that in the first year, I was just making positive cash flow. So I was just, whatever I make, I would pay myself or spend into the business. But when the bank gave me money, I somehow managed to spend more than I got. So then I was in debt. And so after the next few years, I was paying my debt. And so one thing that I wish I knew early on is just don't borrow money, don't use money that you don't have, because it's just going to put you into debt. All right, number 5 is about recurring services. So for a few years early on in my career, I kind of just thought about different services, and I never realized the power of having a recurring service. So this is about thinking of whatever service or products you're doing that people will need ongoing. And so this is the only way that you could actually kind of feel at peace. You can sleep, because the hard part is getting clients. And when the client comes on board and buy something from you, you don't want to have to stress about getting another client. And so after many years of doing a lot of fixed price project services, I realized that the beauty is in recurring. And so my outsourcing angel business is a recurring business where people buy a VA and they pay a monthly service. Whereas before I was selling website projects, SEO. SEO was actually recurring, but there were some other services like logo design, website stuff that I was doing, and it was just once off. And so I would go out trying to, do my best to try to get a client, but they will only need one website, or they would only need one logo, and then I would have to go out and get more clients. So always think about how can you package your service so it's recurring, that people will always need you. How can you keep on adding value to your clients month on month? Because the hard part is in getting the clients. The easier part is trying to retain them. And I guess it's just easier to just have to focus on the client you already got than trying to keep on running around trying to get clients. And it all starts with getting the right services, the right packages in the first place. Now, lesson number 6 is specializing or niching in something. So as I was mentioning in number 5, it was that I was offering website development, I was offering a logo, I was offering a lot of different services. And so I wasn't a master of anything. I wasn't very unique. I didn't have time to really, do well in one service. And so one thing I wish I learned early on is to really find a service and do so well in it that people just come back to you for that, and then you get well known for that, and people will refer you for being so good at that. And so when I was dabbling on so many things and kind of worrying that, I gotta say yes to everything because I need the money, I think that the braver thing and the long-term benefit is actually saying no to a lot of things and sticking to the niche that you're good at. So let's just say I just fell in love with SEO. Well, stick with SEO. How can you make yourself better than other SEO companies? And so just, learn more about SEO, add more value around SEO, even improve your customer experience in SEO. And so that you could actually be better than other SEO companies. Because if other SEO companies are kind of mediocre in maybe the customer service, you can stand out in that area. But because I was kind of offering everything, all right, I can do a website, all right, I can do this, I can do that, I didn't have time to be a master of any services. So eventually when I got into outsourcing angel and I niched in recruitment of marketing staff, I was able to really continue to improve my service, improve my customer experience, and just be known for that. And anything else that the clients need, I just refer them onto someone else to do. And so that I got really well known for virtual staff, how to hire virtual assistants, and I'm really proud of that. And saying no gives you a lot more power than saying yes to everything. Now, number 7 is that I didn't realize that business was more than just about making money. It was opportunity for you to, instead of learning the theory of how to improve yourself or improve your character, it was a way for you to actually improve your character and improve your personal development through practical experience. And so I wish that all those years of struggles and, trying to figure out how to run businesses and whatever, and it wasn't just about money, it was really about a chance for you to just become a better person, to become a better contributor to society, responsibility to be a better leader to your team. And knowing what I know now, I wouldn't kind of stress too much, because I think I was just stressing about money, stressing about the goals that I was trying to get, forgetting that it's about the journey, forgetting that this journey of business is actually making me become a better person. And the only way to become a better person is going through challenges, going through uncertainty, going through things that you've never gone through before and go, how am I going to do this? But just going, I guess, kind of look at it more with enthusiasm. I'm like, yeah, I can do this because this is going to make me become a better person, or more enthusiastic in a sense that I will build my character. And so I guess if I was to give myself a lesson back to business, is like, take a chill pill, enjoy the journey, and just know that whatever you're going through is actually making you a better person. It's not just about the money. It's not just about whether you're succeeding with your goals. It's actually that you are becoming a better person. And knowing what I know now, I'm so grateful for the challenges. And so I want people to kind of open their mind up and embrace challenges and see that this is part of it. Accept it and enjoy it. And lesson number 8 that I wish I learned earlier on and really spent more time with is reading books. For the first few years, I think even though I knew books was powerful, I got too caught up in the business trying to solve problems and forgetting that there's a lot of secrets and a lot of strategies. The solutions is in books. So whatever that you're struggling with, whether it's finance, whether it's mindsets, whether it's marketing, it's all written in books from experts who has done it. And so sometimes you get so caught up in fighting the fires, running your business, that you forget to even have time to read the books that saves you so much time and so much energy. And so every time that I did read a book, I'm like, oh my God, I learned something. And then I learned it and then started to, get back into the business. And sometimes I would go for a year without reading a book, but it wasn't until the last couple of years that I spent more time reading. And the more I read, the more I became smarter, the more I can bring ideas into the business, and the more, I guess, I just worked smarter and the business grew without having to work so hard. Lesson number 9. This is something that I only learned in the last 2 years after hiring someone smarter than me. And so I have my ops manager named Richard. When I hired him, he was able to go, Lynn, I think that you need to let go of control. And I'm like, what do you mean? I already have all these different staff, VAs and stuff that work with me. What do you mean I don't let go of control? I already have these people. But I didn't realize what he meant was that I was still being the bottleneck. I couldn't really go away without kind of affecting the business, because the decision making was up to me. So although I had team members, I realized that for many, many years, I was still solving the problem, telling them what to do, and then just waiting for them to execute. Versus nowadays, it's all about them making decisions, empowering them to take on responsibility. Even if they're not a manager, they know what they need to do in their role. And so when it comes to leadership now, I take a different approach. When there's a problem, I say to them, here's a problem. What's your suggestion? And they might go to me, what would you like me to do? And I'm like, what would you do? And so it's being patient to allow them time to decide and come up with ideas that makes them smarter. And the smarter they get, the more reliable they get, the more I am free. And so I would say the last couple of years, I have been able to really free myself from the business. It means that I'm proud to say that if I did go on holidays for a few months, that the business will run without me. That's because I have now learned to provide decision process to them versus giving them tasks. And so the mistake I made was that hiring people meant that I was offloading tasks. But what I'm trying to say here is that I wish I learned to pass the decisions. So meaning, let them come up with the ideas to solve a problem, let them pick that solution, and let them even make mistakes. But once they learn all that, then they will be the decision maker and they don't rely on you. And so that is the only ultimate way to be a true business owner and have that freedom that you need in your business. Now finally, the last lesson that I would share is around partnership. It's so important to choose a partner that not only has a skill set that you don't have, but they share the same value as you. And it took me so many years to learn this lesson. I keep on making the same mistake, looking for people that was like excited for, I guess, the goal of the business. Like, maybe we want to achieve a certain amount of money or a certain amount of sales, and you have a different skill set than I do, and let's get together. But the biggest thing for me now is about finding someone that shares the same value. And it's not just about partners or JV partners, it's even your own staff. It's finding someone that understands your big vision, your value, because then they will grow and they will stick along with you. Because the saddest thing about partnership, or even, it's similar to marriage, is that you don't have the same value, so that you don't last through the journey together. And it's so sad. And so I think that if you're looking for a partner, you're looking for someone that is going to grow your business with you, look beyond skill set. Look for someone that sees the same purpose, the same vision. They want to change the world in the same way as you, because that is the only way that will, take you through that challenge and that journey together. Because when you're starting to hit hurdles and challenges, it's when it could crumble, because if you don't see eye to eye with the values or the vision, you'll end up going to, I guess, get annoyed with each other and you just don't see eye to eye. And so that is my final lesson in the things I wish I knew when I was starting my business. So that is it, guys. I hope that I've given you some values and help you in your journey to starting a business or running your business. The thing I want to also emphasize is that there's no regret. Don't beat yourself up. I mean, I don't beat myself up. I'm just sharing this because I want to save you time, save you from making the same mistake as I do. But I don't regret in making mistakes or have learnt through this journey of business, because it's really, like I said, it's about building my character, building me as a leader. And if I didn't make those mistakes, I wouldn't become the person that I am today. I'm more humbled, I am more down to earth because I've experienced a lot of challenges. I didn't always get things going my way, because when you have everything going your way, you might be the biggest arrogant prick, right? And I'm not that kind of person. And it's because I've been, gone through so many challenges that felt like, oh my God, why are things so hard? God help me. And those are the moments that just humble you as a human being. And so, yeah, I just want to encourage you. You don't have to get everything perfect. There are times that I wish I beat myself. I'm like, oh my God, I should have known that. But then I quickly slap myself and go, no, you can't know that, because you're not God. You don't know everything. It's only going through something that you know what not to do. The only thing I can do now is just share it with the next people, next person, so that they don't make the same mistake. But if they do, who cares, is what I'm trying to say. Now, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, please leave the comment below. Follow me on social media. I have a website, linpodetti.com. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button. And if you have any topics that you want me to cover, please don't hesitate to let me know, because I want to make the videos for you. I want to leave a legacy, share everything that I know, so that it could change your life. If I've done things that changed my life, I want to make sure that I pass that on to help you with your life. Anyways, have a good one. Bye. And by the way, you're probably wondering where the hell I am. I'm actually in Barrel. So I'm actually gone away with my husband to a kind of greenery place, and just a nice weekend, but I just thought I'll do a video while I'm here because it's just a different scenery. So hope you enjoy. Bye.